This has to end. Now.
Can the Spider-Man come out to play?
While we haven't heard anything official about MCU phases beyond Phase 6, there's been talk of a possible reboot with a new mutant saga, leading up to an epic Eternity War. One storyline that Marvel could really benefit from adding is Superior Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always been a fan favorite, but he's been rebooted so many times with mostly the same story arc. There are tons of different versions of Spider-Man in the comics that we haven't seen on the big screen yet, and the Superior Spider-Man is definitely one that's ready for a cinematic adaptation. So, here's what we know about Superior Spider-Man's potential introduction into the MCU. And if you stick around till the end, we will go over all of the hints we have found for Superior Spider in Sony and Marvel films. In 2013, Marvel introduced the Superior Spider-Man storyline, which followed Peter Parker's death in The Amazing Spider-Man. Before he passed, Peter's final wish was that someone else would take up the mantle of Spider-Man to protect New York. Enter his nemesis, Doc Ock, who transfers his mind into Peter's body, fusing their consciousness as Peter dies. Initially, Doc Ock does this just to survive, but over time, he starts to embrace Peter's dying wish and becomes the Superior Spider-Man. Adapting this storyline into the MCU would not only build on the legacy of No Way Home, but also provide a fresh take on the classic character. While it's definitely a bold move, the Superior Spider-Man arc was a big hit in the comics and would be a fantastic addition to the MCU. Watching Doc Ock, typically a villain, evolve into a hero, one that's arguably even better than Peter Parker, was a twist fans loved. And while some versions of Peter Parker, like Emo Spider-Man, didn't resonate as well, Superior Spider-Man was a standout. The whole two minds concept isn't new in Marvel, just look at Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Plus, we've already seen how a character with split identities, like Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight, can work on screen. The big difference with Doc Ock's version is that he doesn't initially realize that Peter is still somewhat influencing his decisions. Peter's good heart, combined with Doc Ock's raw power and intelligence, makes them an unstoppable force, taking down major villains like the Sinister Six. Unlike Peter, who holds back to avoid killing, even villains, Doc Ock has no such moral limitations. This more ruthless version of Spider-Man was a shocking twist for comic fans, and it would definitely make for an intriguing and dynamic storyline if brought to the big screen. In the MCU, a Superior Spider-Man arc could fit perfectly into future storylines. We've already seen a version of Doc Ock in Spider-Man No Way Home, where Peter uses his technology to reverse the mind-controlling tech affecting Doc Ock, setting him up for a redemption arc. As Tom Holland's Spider-Man ages, if he wants to keep playing the role, a Superior Spider-Man storyline could be a great way to keep the character fresh. Peter could die, and the redeemed version of Doc Ock could use his advanced tech to fuse their minds together, becoming the Superior Spider-Man. Since Doc Ock has already been redeemed to some degree, the MCU wouldn't need to spend too much time on his development, allowing them to jump straight into the more mature Superior Spider-Man story. This would be a creative way to continue Spider-Man's story without rebooting the character again. It's a fresh angle that feels like the perfect next step for the MCU's mutant saga. Or Spider-Man 4 could introduce Superior Spider-Man from another universe. Since Spider-Man 4 is set to explore the multiverse, as we know from the collaboration between Sony and Marvel Studios, it opens the door for a version of Spider-Man from an alternate reality. This could be the perfect opportunity to bring in Superior Spider-Man as a variant from a different universe, where Peter Parker's body has been taken over by Doc Ock. This approach would not only expand on the multiverse concept introduced in Spider-Man No Way Home, but also provide a fresh take on Spider-Man with a darker and more ruthless version of the hero. The contrast between the heroic but often flawed Peter Parker and the cold, calculating Doc Ock in Peter's body would add complexity to the story, creating tension as these two personalities clash. This could lead to an exciting storyline where both versions of Spider-Man must eventually work together or face off. Introducing Superior Spider-Man in Spider-Man 4 would be a bold move, giving fans something entirely new while still tying into the larger multiverse saga. It would also allow the MCU to explore the character of Doc Ock in a more nuanced way, as the mix of Peter's memories and Doc Ock's ruthless nature could lead to some truly compelling storytelling. For those unfamiliar with the publication history of the Superior Spider-Man, here's a quick rundown. It's the name of several comic book series published by Marvel Comics, all revolving around Otto Octavius becoming Spider-Man. The original series, which ran from January 2013 to September 2014, was written by Dan Slott, with art by Ryan Stegman, Humberto Ramos, and Giuseppe Camuncoli. It picks up after Peter Parker's death in the 2012 storyline Dying Wish, where Otto Octavius swaps minds with Peter, ultimately leading to Peter's death and Otto taking over his body. Although Otto initially does this for his own survival, he eventually embraces Peter's dying wish to protect New York City, leading him to become the Superior Spider-Man, with Peter's mind lingering in the background, subtly influencing Otto. The series was a continuation of the long-running The Amazing Spider-Man series, which ended with issue number 700, and it carries the legacy numbering of The Amazing Spider-Man for its first 33 issues, counting them as issues 701 to 733. Along with the main series, Superior Spider-Man also crossed over into other Spider-Man titles like Avenging Spider-Man and Superior Spider-Man Team Up, and several Marvel titles. The series wrapped up with issue number 31, where Peter's mind's fate is decided. Afterward, the Amazing Spider-Man series was relaunched, with Peter regaining control of his body and the mantle of Spider-Man. In 2013, additional issues of Superior Spider-Man were released, issues 700.1 to 700.5, and the series returned briefly with two more issues, number 32 and number 33, in 2014, leading into the Spider-Verse event. Otto Octavius also had further appearances in 2018 with a one-shot titled The Superior Octopus, which continued his story after the events of the Go Down Swinging storyline and tied into Spider-Geddon. Later in 2023, a new volume of Superior Spider-Man was released as part of the Spider-Geddon event, written by Christos Gage and drawn by Mike Hawthorne. Additionally, the manga Spider-Man Octopus Girl was launched as a sequel to the first two volumes, with a standalone third volume following in November 2023. The character also appeared in animated formats, with the first volume of Superior Spider-Man adapted into the second season of Marvel's Spider-Man, voiced by Robbie Daymond. Otto Octavius as Superior Spider-Man also made a cameo in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse animated movie, where he was part of Spider-Man 2099's Spider Society. The evolution of the Superior Spider-Man storyline has allowed Otto Octavius to become a compelling, morally complex character, and his journey from villain to hero is one that could be great to explore in the MCU as well. And we almost forgot to mention, when we're talking about Superior Spider-Man, it's not just speculation. There have been hints from both recent Sony and MCU movies. For the MCU, concept art for the Superior Spider-Man costume was designed by Ryan Maynarding during the production of Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's meant to be used in a future film within the MCU, possibly Spider-Man 4. So what do you think? Are we getting a Superior Spider-Man soon in the MCU? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Your support means a lot. And we'll see you in the next one.